What's going on, guys? Bradley here, back again with another video, bringing you guys week 2 of my Android challenge update video. This week I'm going to tell you 5 things that I do not like. Let's get it started. Alright, so before we get into this, I just want to tell you guys of a disclaimer. I'm not trying to, spread any hate or, bias towards iOS or anything. Actually, next Friday, I'm going to be also making another video of 5 things I don't like about iOS. So, every operating system isn't perfect. They all have their flaws. And this is just 5 things that I've noticed about using Android for the past 2 weeks. So, the number one thing I want to talk about first, I just want to get out of the way because it's not really Android's fault. It's just like Android in general, because they don't have like a huge following like iPhones or like dedicated users and stuff like that. But I want to talk about the camera. The camera's not bad in any way. It's not what I'm used to on an iPhone. iPhones are just, a lot more reliable. They're faster. The autofocus is just on point with those things. Now, the image quality is a little bit better on the iPhone than the Nexus 6P. Now, if we were comparing, like the Galaxy S7, that would be completely different, but that would also be a lot different because we'd be talking about TouchWiz and not pure Android itself. But that's just one little thing that I noticed that I kind of like over iOS, is just the reliability, how fast you can always guarantee to get good quality images out of an iPhone. Alright, so number 2 on the list is battery life. Now this is probably the most disappointing thing, because the Nexus 6P has a giant 3600 milliamp battery, whereas my iPhone 6s Plus has a 3150 milliamp battery, but I get better battery life on that, and that's where Android comes in. Now, I know it also has to do with the hardware, because this phone does have a 2K AMOLED screen, and just pushing all those pixels and their processing and all that can really drain the battery. But it's 2016 and a lot of flagships have 2K screens now. So I don't know why Android isn't, having a better software optimization for their battery life. I know they have doze feature, but really, let me just grab this for a second so I can show you. Doze only works when the phone is face down on something, like when the phone is face down on a table or a desk or whatever. But if it's sitting up like this, doze isn't gonna work. Now I know with Android N coming out later in the summer, they're gonna fix a lot of that. But I'm just saying right now, it's very disappointing coming from an iPhone, because iPhones have some of the best screen on and screen off times out of any smartphone. It's not really that big of a deal. I can usually get through a full day. Some days I do watch a lot of YouTube videos and I will have to charge it, maybe once a day. But the USB-C fast charging, it really helps. The fast charging really helps and makes it easier to charge, just 10 minutes and you can get an, extra couple hours of battery time. So it's really not that big of a deal. It's just a little thing I noticed. And the next thing I want to talk about is material design. And yes, material design I really enjoy. I love it. I think it's one of the best looking, clean experiences that you can have on a mobile phone. But when these big giant companies that have apps, let's say like Instagram, Twitter, you name that kind of stuff, they design their apps for iOS. They design their best apps for iOS. They always have the updates coming out first to iOS. And that's just because the majority of the users are using iPhones. But when it comes to Android, it's kind of like they neglect. Like, I know the Twitter app looks so good on iOS, but it looks like total crap. And then you have to go to third party, and there's not the same features. So I would really like for just companies to just stick to the material design choice. Now I know on iOS, they have the same choice. They can basically make the app whatever, they want it to look like. But still, most iPhone apps look the same. They kind of have the same kind of, layout to them, but they're a different app. And I think Android would be so much better if it was the same way. So number 4 on the list is lack of simplicity. And what I mean by this is kind of the customization. Now I know Android is all about customization, and both platforms, iOS and Android, aren't supposed to be the same. They're supposed to be different because they're 2 different operating systems. This one does things better and this one does too. But There's something about an iPhone where you can just pull it out of your pocket and you know you're not going to have any issues. You know where everything is, you know how it's fast, reliable, it works, it gets the job done easy and fast when it matters most. Now, Android, you can really make the phone your own with the customization. You can put everything where you want it, how you want it, but there's just like, it's different. It feels different. You can have things where you want, but sometimes it just doesn't feel as reliable. It's really not that big of a deal. It's super reliable still, but I'm just telling you guys that my opinion is that I prefer iOS for like reliability, overall experience of the software whenever it matters most. So number 5 on the list is iMessage and FaceTime. Now you guys might be thinking like, well duh, it's only an iPhone feature, but it brings in an ecosystem, right? Like you can have iMessage on your Mac, on your iPad. It just brings everything together. And the thing is, you don't realize how good it actually is until you stop using it. And I've noticed that. I've taken it for granted. When I switched from Android, I never thought that I'd have a problem with using SMS text messaging. Now I know you can use like WhatsApp, you know, Google Hangouts and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't have those apps because they have iPhones, they have iMessage, and if they have Android, then they're just used to texting. But the simplicity of photo sharing, video sharing on iMessage, and you have the voice messages, it's so dang good. It's so easy, fast, reliable, and the fact that you can FaceTime somebody that just has an iPhone, you don't have to worry about someone else having a Skype app or Uvu or Hangouts. It's just easy. It's reliable, it's there, and it really makes the experience better for the user. So that's gonna wrap up my video, guys, on the 5 things I don't like about Android so far, and I'm pretty sure that's probably like the only list that I'm ever gonna come across of anyway. So if you guys liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing down below. And I want you guys to leave a comment telling me any videos you've seen and tell me one thing that you think that iOS should take from Android. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.